greet you well. We say good morning to you. It's a new month, the month of April 2023. It's day number 3, and my name is Richie B.
DJ Odd is in the building. Morning.
Enough of the rhyming. it just happened like that. I didn't plan it. So, yeah. All right. Good morning, Bridge Nation. How's everybody doing? Morning, Jody. Yeah. Is that Sean in the building already? What? Okay, good to see you all. We can't talk to Shelz this morning, but we can say congratulations to him and to KC and also to Hydel, champions at Boys and Girls Champs 2023. As a matter of fact, one of the coaches of a winning school, the coach of Hydel High School track and field program, Corey Bennett, will be joining us later on this morning. And that makes way for WTF, What the Fact?
Now here we go on Bridge Nation. Apparently, there are 293 ways to make change for $1. I'm going to assume this depends on the currency. But alright, yeah. So there are 293 ways to make change for $1. Now, making change for $1 involves trading a paper dollar for a combination of coins with values that, of course, add up to $1. So if we're considering using pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, 50-cent pieces, and dollar coins, then there is a whopping total of 293 ways to make change for $1.
All right.
American dollar.
That is obviously not in Jamaican currency.
Yeah, probably be a little bit. Yeah.
Talking about quarters and dimes and nickels and pennies and all the kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that even in those currencies, other currencies, that you have so many ways of making change. 293?
Yeah. Big up.
This is a I want to say this is a fact, or should I just say this is a fact?
I'll take the word for it.
Even although we find it a little bit, unbelievable, but it's true. It is true. And that's an interesting fact, isn't it?
Yeah, American money is so weird.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I remember the first time when I traveled and I tried, I count up the quarters and all them. So I was like, I don't understand what going on.
What I do is I pour it all in my palm of my hands, and I hand it to them. And say, take what is yours.
You just, you do that.
So them pick out a quarter. Them take out a nickel or whatever.
There's so much chip in my accent too.
My thing.
There's so much chip in my yardie accent. You know, I've met them know. I'm not come from boy. Whatever you need.
Yeah, just take what they want, and that's it. That is it.
Not from here.
Okay, that was
WTF. What the fact?
Yeah, get them all.
Thank you, Massacre. Good morning, Bridge Nation. Welcome once again to Update.
Yeah.
And we've got a few stories for you.
Yeah, man. So I don't know if this is an endorsement that Shano wants, but the apparent quote-unquote top G, Andrew Tate, blasts Shane O's song called 7 Jacket in a video, his first video since release from jail. Now again, Shano is counting his blessings after Andrew Tate returned to Twitter and shared a video of himself pacing in a room while blasting the dancehall star's 7 Jacket, which is a 2022 song that tackled the issue of paternity fraud in Jamaica. Now, as we know, or for those who don't know, Tate is a controversial American-British internet personality and, of course, a former world champion kickboxer who is nicknamed Top G. He's been detained in a Romanian jail on unorganized crime and human trafficking charges for the past 3 months. Tate said, "Since last year, I've been in 24-hour lockdown, no yard time, pacing a 3-meter cell with zero electronics or outside contact, absolute clarity of mind, real thoughts, real plans, vivid pain. 1 hour home, and I can't stand my phone bars. Some habits die hard. We must defeat Shaitan," Tate noted yesterday. Well, of course, Shano was ecstatic after seeing the post, his second such endorsement by one of social media's most talked about persons. Of course, his first being DJ Khaled, who we know co-signed Dark Room, that track last year. So, like I said, this is an interesting one because Tate is controversy right now. So But that's a lot of eyes and ears.
Shano is obviously basking
Yeah, that's a lot.
in the endorsement.
Because remember I told you, Richie, that Andrew Tate was banned on these platforms. So his first video back out of prison and back on social media being Shano's song playing in the background.
Yeah, that's big for Shano.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. It might get a give him the kind of attention it needs in terms of getting the track forward into a wider market. So no wonder amidst all of the controversy, Shano is still saying, "Yo,
that's a lot of people." That's a lot of people.
Indeed. Before we swing to a local story, just to remind the Bridge Nation inside of Update that Donald Trump will be later on today traveling from Florida to New York as he plans to surrender to authorities following his historic grand jury indictment. Trump, who will be the first U.S. president in history to face criminal charges in connection to Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Braggs's investigation into hush money paid to an adult film star named Stormy Daniels, confirmed his timeline for his arraignment at the Manhattan Criminal Court and through a post that he put out sometime last week. And it is believed that he's going to be facing more than 30 criminal charges in connection with the probe that has focused on a $130,000 sum that he, through his attorney, might have paid to Stormy Daniels as what is called hush money payment. So I said it to a friend of ours, and he said, America mash up now. I don't know about that, and I'm not hoping that anything like that will happen. But today is going to be an interesting day in the USA. Now, back to the local story that I wanted to share. Ziggy Marley and members of the Marley family and other actors and so on are in Jamaica. They're filming, of course, the Bob Marley biopic, all courtesy of Paramount Studios. And it turns out that Ziggy, the eldest son of reggae icon Bob Marley, and 8-time Grammy Award winner, has now accused a luxury villa in Jamaica's north coast of discrimination. Of course, he recently wrapped up filming of the biopic, as we mentioned, and he attempted, whilst his family was here with him, to book at the Sea Salt Villa at Old Fort Bay in Ocho Rios sometime last month. But according to the singer, the owner allegedly refused because he, according to Ziggy, does not rent his property to Jamaicans. Yep. That is what Ziggy is claiming. I understand through this report that the management of Sea Salt was contacted for a response to Ziggy's allegations and to confirm whether or not Jamaicans are blacklisted from staying at the property. And we understand that the reporter, whose report we are reading right now, said a manager said the singer's account of the matter was absolutely inaccurate and that he's still welcome to stay at the villa on the condition that he follows their rules. So that would mean that I guess Jamaicans are accepted, but there are certain rules and regulations that go with that. Ziggy is obviously quite upset, and he went on to say in an interview, "We have faced it ourselves because we faced it the other day. Let me tell you what me mean. Me I try rent a place. Me come at Jamaica where I work on the movie, Trenchtown, Jungle, Bull Bay, all over with that. Enjoy the time, hard work, so we finish that now. I'm say me and my family come, my wife come, my youth them come. I'm gonna have a good time." And basically he's saying that in buck up, you know. So there are two different sides to the story, obviously. Ziggy's contending that he was blocked because he's Jamaican. Management apparently is saying nothing of the sort, but they had to abide by certain rules and regulations. I think we're going to be hearing more about this going forward, and it's not a good look at all. Ziggy says, "Now that me know if we deal with it." So I guess he might be speaking up about it more going forward.
So what? I'm just wondering though. So what is the rules and the regulations?
I know the rules and regulations. I mean, I don't know if it has to do. I don't know if it has to do with things like how many guests you can have, or we don't know. You know what I mean? You know,
it cannot be that.
I mean, this is a villa. It's not an all-inclusive property. You know what I mean? So,
Money,
what are those rules and regulations?
Money.
I doubt that, Shelz.
No.
Cannot do the thing.
Let me tell you. I don't know
Cannot
how
do
I
the
go on,
thing.
man. Them never know how till it's too late. And
What?
Well, I
Them no recognize-
will agree
them-
with you on that.
Nobody
Something.
recognize Ziggy?
Something.
No,
something,
I
man.
will
They
agree
never-
with you.
What?
That I will agree with you on.
See Rasta man, I come with him.
Only if
family.
them don't.
Oh, yes,
only,
locks.
only if
The locks.
smoking
Yeah, man.
smoking
Yeah,
of,
man.
of weed or herb is
Or
not
possibly.
allowed.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Is it a
Rasta.
case where
Yeah, man.
no more than X number of guests? I don't know. I mean,
He
we're
never-
just wondering.
He never said that he made a reservation before, right? Going.
No.
So that means they would have seen his name.
Right. So
you get what I'm
he-
saying? So
he
not
turned
more
up.
than him just turn up.
Yeah.
You see me? And him say,
Rasta.
Rasta come in and
Yeah.
play. Hold up. Yes.
See,
Let's hope that's not what happened though. I'm just saying though.
It would be very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Management is saying that's absolutely inaccurate. Ziggy's version. Well, you all need to put out your own version so we
Yeah.
can see what really happened from your perspective. And because we're going to sit on this for a little bit, all right?
Yeah.
It's 22 now before the hour of 7 o'clock. That was...
Update.
Right now it's time for the proverb of the day.
No mug, no broke, no coffee, no dash way.
Good.
No mug, no broke, no coffee, no dash way.
Okay. Cough is spelled Cawfee, by the way. No mug, no brook, no coffee, no dashway. Everything safe and secure. Even in the most difficult times, if total devastation has not occurred, one should count his or her blessings. Blessings, that's right. In other words, do not blow simple matters out of proportion. That is what that proverb really means when you hear it. Yeah, no mug, no brook, no coffee, no dashway. Yeah, all right, we can relate to that
Yeah,
one.
man, I like this one.
It's a nice proverb.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now, having done the proverb, let's get to our pet peeve. What are pet peeves? These are things that others do that you might find upsetting, annoying, or very often quite irritating. Remember, the Bridge Nation has sent us their pet peeve, and we would like to share that with you right now.
No mug, no broke, no coffee, no dash way.
Been
My
through that.
biggest pet peeve right now in a Bridge Nation is the constant increase of food prices in Jamaica. Me don't know how we're going to manage. Me don't know what we're going to do. I don't know when somebody's going to actually realize that it is getting out of hand and it is getting harder and harder for persons to actually survive. And my pet peeve that this Monday morning in the April air, what we're going to do about food price because it'll get out of hand.
Yeah, I can agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Can't you, Bridge Nation?
Well, I bet they can.
And you know what's interesting? The what's that? The dollar has been strengthening against the US dollar. And still, remember just the other day it was like 155 to 1, and now I think it's about 152 or something, 153 maybe. So if our dollar is strengthening, right?
Yeah, I mean-
why are the prices going up at the same time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's constant. You can't budget and say you're going to spend 15 grand. Because you spent 15 grand last week, you can't go back with 15 grand this week. You have to go top up that.
Yep.
So I know that I'm assuming that many people out there are feeling the pinch in that regard, and thorough investigation maybe is what is required.
Hey, I don't know. I hope we get some encouragement from Mr. Chung when we reason with him, because
Yeah, we'll have to put that in the mix.
yeah, because the food thing. No, food is life. We need food, and
Yeah, man.
if the basic thing we can't get is food, then that's,
We have a
that's
problem.
That's chaos on our hands. Yeah.
Right now, we have a very important segment. We'll be joined by Dennis Chung, well-known economist here in Jamaica, looking at the economy of our country. The Statistical Institute, you might have read or heard, STATIN reported recently that the Jamaican economy grew by some 3.8% during the December 2022 quarter when compared with the fourth quarter in 2021. STATIN said this resulted from growth in the services and goods producing industries of some 3.6% and 4.7% respectively. They also went on to say that this performance reflected the continued recovery of the economy from the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. They stated that all industries within the services industries grew, except the producers of government services, which fell by 0.8%. Now, don't get confused, don't get too concerned, because all of that will be explained in a language that we will all be able to understand even more clearly by our good friend and economist, Dennis Chung. Good morning, Dennis. How are you doing?
Blessing, sir.
Dennis, you there?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you, Richie.
All right. Thank you so much, and good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right. We're talking about the economy, and, we have to call you to get some clarification on matters relating to the economy. First of all, the 3.8% growth that STATIN is reporting, is that within the projections that you would have seen yourself looking at the numbers?
Yes, it is within the projections, because one of the things I'd always maintain is that we are going to come back quickly, or relatively quickly. And it's not so relatively quickly, to be honest with you, because other countries have come back much quicker to the pre-pandemic levels. So this sort of growth that you're seeing is really going back up to the capacity that you're used to. So once you start freeing up the economy, this is automatically going to happen. After this, though, the growth rate is going to slow. And you've seen that the actual recovery rate has been slowing, because it was like in the 8%, and then it came down to like the 3.8% now. So it's slowing, and we're going to go back to about 1 to 2% per year annually, because that's our capacity.
Mm-hmm. I see where they say the hotels and restaurant sector showed a 21.6% growth in that quarter. Wholesale and retail, which I took an interest in, was showing somewhere in the region of 1.3% growth. I think the following quarter, though, is quite different from the quarter that we're talking about, especially in the wholesale and retail trade. Now, what can you tell us about the methodology used in determining these growth or reductions, Dennis?
Yeah, well, what they do is gather data from all the various entities, and then what they would do is just compile the data. So I mean, it might not be, it's not every entity, but if you have the data for the same entities every quarter, then it's comparable, and that's what they use. And they use their statistical methods and extrapolate it and that sort of thing, and then come up with the numbers. Mm-hmm. So it's really what the size of the economy is adjusted for inflation, mm-hmm. This quarter versus last quarter, and then they'll analyze it.
Okay. Now, Mr. Chung, greetings again. Shelz here. Now, what we're seeing is fantastic. It's a good look, sir. But I'm curious, are there any potential risks or challenges that could impact the country's economic growth in the future?
Well, crime, number one. That's a major one. And generally just law and order. Also, you have things like natural disasters that can occur. So the hurricane, for example, earthquake, God forbid, those things can actually slow up the production, because remember, economic growth is all about production. Mm-hmm. And if you have natural disasters, if you have crime, then there's no production. So from a crime point of view, for example, if people are not able to go out and work in the night shift, for example, because of crime, mm-hmm. then it means that production goes down. Mm-hmm. If people are not able to go out on the roads, and people don't want to go out on the road because of the fear of going out, then, there's no money being spent in the economy. It means that production goes down. Mm-hmm. Similarly with the whole law and order issues. But from an infrastructural point of view, though, and this is why I'm pleased that the government is focusing on the infrastructure. The fact is that if you don't have good roads, for example, people can't move around, then it creates an impediment to consumption. Mm-hmm. And when you look at, for example, in the U.S., the highway system was very instrumental in economic growth because it means that people could move now from location to location. And once people are moving around, it means that growth can happen, because people can go other places. I mean, look at tourism, for example. If people can travel, right, then it means that people can go to other countries, come to Jamaica, for example, and spend money. If people go to Montego Bay, look at it from the point of view, if people go to Montego Bay to vacation, and they can go to Kingston, right, easily because of the traffic, the highway system, then it means that people can come here and spend money, right? So infrastructure is so important, capital projects, and that's why the government has to focus on this, and this is why improving the fiscal is important, because as you improve your fiscal situation, it means you have more money to spend in the economy, more money to spend on infrastructure, and that's what's going to drive your growth.
That's right.
I like the information you just shared, Dennis. But from your vantage point, what are some of the other areas, within the productive sector that the government might very well want to be looking at to foster continued growth and development in the short and medium term, for instance?
I think the biggest impetus that you can have to growth in this country is a good public transportation system. Why do I say that? And also to improve standard of living. I spoke about the fact that if you move people around efficiently, you're encouraging greater spending, right? And therefore a good public transportation system is key. I mean, I did an analysis a few years ago that showed that just by spending an additional 1 hour in traffic every day because of traffic congestion, we lost at the time about $200 billion a year in productive hours, right? So just being able to move around, if you think about it, Richie B, the fact that you are in traffic and driving, it means that you can't be doing work at that time.
Right.
You have to get up earlier than you projected, right? And you're spending all this time just doing nothing. The other thing is that if we were to improve our public transportation system, we go to New York, for example, we don't take the private vehicles, we take the subway, right? If everyone is moving around on a bus, right, then it means that the same one set of fuel for that one bus carries everyone. We don't import oil, we don't produce oil.
Right.
It would significantly reduce our import bill, which means that, you're actually impacting positively a growth rate and also standard of living, because it means that people don't have to be spending money on car payment. So that, I think, is the biggest thing that we can do. The other one, though, which I think that we need to focus on, we're always talking about non-traditional things like, I saw where there was a celebration about us exporting 2 container loads of mangoes, right?
Yes.
When you think about the hip strip alone, right, in Montego Bay, if you were to fix up that hip strip, Richie B, so that it became like a Las Vegas, right? Instead of charging $200 and something a night, you could charge $500 a night for the room. That's extracting value from tourists without actually doing much to improve it. So all this thing about, allowing people to sell where they want and the disorder in terms of the driving, the pollution on the road, those things are costing us a lot of money. And therefore, if we were to just focus on those things, particularly in the tourism areas, and then bring greater value to those areas, we can significantly improve our GDP also, our growth.
The government recently concluded negotiations with a lot of members of the public sector. The workers themselves are kind of like the drivers out there in the economy. Do you think that enough satisfaction is there within the public sector now for people to get back to work and to generate the growth that we require in the economy?
I think so. But, the improvement in the salaries, I don't think is going to make much difference to growth. And I think that they're going to find themselves back in the situation they were in terms of cost of living. The reason why I say that I mean, it does help, right? Because it brings efficiency to the public sector, because you're reducing the amount of different layers of salary levels, right? So, I mean, from a efficiency point of view, it does help. But the truth is that if you do not have productivity increase with salary increases, then what you're going to have is inflation, right? And I said it in 2010 when Hydel was increasing the salary of teachers by 10%, that in a few months' time, they're going to be back where they are. And it happened because if you have increases in wages and salaries or income generally without productivity improvement, then what happens is that you have more money chasing the same amount of goods. And eventually you're going to have inflation, and they're going to find themselves back in the situation that they are. So what we need to do is put a lot of focus on improving productivity by looking, for example, at, pay for performance or, some compensation based on how much you produce. And I mean, in your business, for example, Richie, you don't have a salary. Your salary is based on profits.
Right.
So if you don't go out and make money, you can't make more money.
Right.
And that is productivity. So if we have the same amount of money coming in, right, in real terms, and we're giving more money to people to spend, then what you're going to have is inflation. So I mean, it will help to settle everybody for now, but what happens, in a year's time.
Yeah. This is off script, but somebody put forward a pet peeve earlier on our program that they find it strange that prices are constantly being increased almost week by week when they go to the supermarket and so on. I was making the point that it's strange that is happening even when the dollar is gaining value. In a short way, what do you think is causing that kind of increase that we're seeing, Dennis?
Yeah, well, we have almost maximum employment, right? So you can't get greater than what you're getting now much in terms of full employment. So you have more money out there because people are actually making more money. Tourism, for example, has been doing very well. So a lot more money is coming in. Again, remember that thing I just referred to about the productivity increase. We're still not having the same level of productivity increase. We have more money chasing the same amount of goods, because remember when we had the pandemic, a lot of people cut back on production globally, right? We have the war that's happening. So in relation to productivity, what is happening is that we are having more money out there as economies come back. So the Jamaican economy, for example, has been growing at 8 to 3%, but our productivity has not been growing at that. So what's going to happen is that you're going to have higher prices out there because of global impact as well as local impact. That can only be addressed through fiscal policy and monetary policy also. And we've tried to do some of that. So the BOJ, for example, increased interest rates. It was necessary for them to do that. If they did not do that, then inflation would have actually been much higher than it is now. The Fed has been increasing interest rates. We have not been increasing interest rates at the same level as the Fed. So obviously we're going to see, as we've seen in recent weeks, a small depreciation in our dollar. So, if we import most of the goods that we consume and there's a depreciation in the dollar, then obviously prices in Jamaican dollars are going to go up.
Wow.
So, that is what would cause it.
Wow.
Dennis, I thank you as always for breaking it down in a language that we can understand.
Yeah,
have a great day today.
Yeah, man, no problem.
All right. Dennis Chung is a well-known economist looking at the performance of our Jamaican economy and breaking it down in a language that many of us, I'm sure, can understand. And it's now time for the UK Connection. Robert Ranks is inside of the studios of The Beat, London 103.6 FM, and it's a simulcast. He's live in Jamaica momentarily, and we'll be live in the UK momentarily. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, Robbo.
Good morning, team, and good afternoon, UK. Yeah, we are live in Jamaica. What? Hang on. Good morning. What are you guys moaning about? Who lost by 1 point? I mean, there's some sourness going on. What? What has happened, Richie?
Well,
I've been trying to what has happened?
We were talking about boys and girls champs, and Edwin Allen, who it is fair to say they were the favorites to win the girls' title.
Yeah, dominant force.
Yes, they actually had a disqualification in a race where they lost all, I think, 10 points or 12 points.
Yeah.
And it turned out that as a result of that disqualification and the loss of those points, the team that was behind them but very close, which is Hydel, they have emerged now as the champions for girls champs.
That's who I'm supporting.
Yeah,
Hydel.
Hydel. Okay, well, they came through. Yeah, they won by only 2 points.
I just found out 10 seconds ago, but I want to support the winners. Hydel. Hi, Hydel. Hi, guys. Supporting you from the UK. Well done on your victory. I was listening to it earlier on. I was thinking, sounds like Richie's team didn't win.
No, but Titchfield represented in a few areas, but not as strongly as they did years ago when they won the boys' championships. Shelz' school came through again.
Defending
champions. Defended well. KC.
Oh, that's why he was so
College.
silent. That's why he was so silent while he was there.
Yeah, we won the most titles, 34 titles, but who's counting?
Yeah.
It's
I
all
know.
good.
I tell you who's counting.
You know who lost count?
I tell you who's. Yeah, no, you're right. You lost count is the amount of managers your team has had.
Jeez. All right.
Let's move to sports now.
Okay.
Let's move to the sports headlines.
Robo. All right. Yeah.
Harry Potter's lost his job.
Yes,
Chelsea, one of the richest clubs in world football, has now made it 2 managers in one season.
Yep.
That's how much money. And the ambition to chase this money matters to the owners. So now when we hear things like that, it makes you wonder, what is it about football or is it about the Dunga? And it seems that it's the Dunga here. What do you say? What do you say, Chelsea fans?
Well, firstly, I just did the math and realized that they chased Potter for 60 million. And then just fired him in a few months. That's crazy. So I can't blame you, Robo, for saying that, Chelsea, with all the money in the world, kind of jumpy. Yeah, man, definitely. And now I'm hearing, which is even more interesting, because we know that Tuchel is gone to Bayern.
Yes.
Our former coach, and Bayern's coach, their former coach now, is looking like he's coming to Chelsea. So I don't know if that's like a little pettiness going on there, and I hope not, because I want football to prevail. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the money though.
Nothing was petty about the loss yesterday to Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Yeah, well, nothing was petty about our loss to
Liverpool lost, to City.
But
4-1, right?
Listen, at the end of the day, when you lose to Manchester City, you're kind of like
odds is celebrating.
City.
Get out of here. Since you're celebrating so much, odds. Yeah. You can start the music today. Get out of here.
Really?
Get out of here. Yeah. But apart from that, Rich, we have had a great weekend. Lots of things happening in the UK. One, namely, I mentioned it last week for the culture. The artist Cranium did his bits and sold out everywhere, and the fan base, it's really interesting when you look out into the crowd. And I had the pleasure of doing that on a Friday night, and it just warms my heart to see that so many people love the culture in like so many different colors, creeds. It's a wonderful look, and they were all listening and enjoying dancehall. He took time out to do some reggae in his set as well, which was really good, playing like Dennis Brown and then going right up into his new music. So that was a great look over the weekend. So I'm looking.
So you're seeing like like blacks and whites coming out in large numbers equally, pretty much, to these events.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're turned on by the music, and we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago where Dexter Daps was concerned. So few shows have just been announced. Valiant. Coming in the summer, and the return to the UK much loved artist, as you know, the legend that is Freddie McGregor, just announced for a One Love Festival. So seeing him on stage back here in the UK, old and new, from It's the Culture, we win. I'm just happy for the wins, bro.
Yeah, certainly.
Big strides out here.
Yeah, man. Somebody from England just asked me if I could name the 100-meter champion for the girls at Boys and Girls Champs, and that was Alana Reid of Hydel.
Yeah, man.
She actually won the double both the 100 and the 200 in very fantastic form.
Fast like a jet.
Yeah, believe me, and very powerful. And for the male side, of course,
Kiapo, Boaji, and
Krumi.
Fastest youngster.
You might want to know that. And by the way, he's the first Jamaican to actually at the high school level, go below 10 seconds. He did it in 9.99 seconds. And only the third male youngster internationally who has gone below 10 seconds. So that is big.
I'd say this, you got to mention in the British press also.
See that?
So they've saw that. And I saw that Bunny Shaw is taking things to a new level. Is it 17 goals? She's looking like now she's chalked her name on definitely as the Women's League Footballer of the Year. It looks like it's going to fall into her hands. So something to really be proud of, to see her go all great guns. And last season she was doing a lot of bench sitting for Manchester City. Now she's just blowing teams away. She's absolutely unstoppable. The women footballers are here in the UK also. I was coming out of the lift on Saturday night in Bristol, and I saw the Sheffield United team bus. And I couldn't recognize. Obviously, I don't know the colours. You know, I support the top teams. And the coach came out of the lift. I said to him, cricket, tennis? He said, no, football. We're Sheffield United, and we're playing, Bristol and what have you. And I said to him, that's great. And he looked at me, and immediately I think he just knew I knew Richie B. He just said, Bunny Shaw, she's great, isn't she? She's great. I just went into a conversation with me about Bunny, and I was like, oh, okay. My knowledge on women's football is very little, but I do know she's. But they even paid interest in paying her a compliment.
Wow.
Everybody seems to be worried about it. He goes, yeah, we got her in a few weeks. Don't fancy that. He said. So that was kind of crazy. So
I really
good look for the culture.
That's right.
Like what's happening for her. You know what I mean? Standing predominant as the winners of their first Girls Championships with 279 points. Let's hear it for Hydel High.
Big up.
And the coach is with us right now, Mr. Bennett. Good morning and congratulations, sir.
Good morning. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Welcome.
Yeah, man. Thank you and congratulations. We're proud of what you've achieved. First time you're getting your hands on this trophy at Hydel. How does that feel?
Wow. I haven't processed it yet.
Really?
It's a wonderful feeling, especially for the community and the school at large. We've been going through so much as a school. So this is just so timely, and this is just God's work.
Absolutely. I think I saw a clip where you were asked whether or not you thought you would have won. And I didn't get the feeling that you actually thought this was going to happen. Is that correct? Was that my interpretation correct?
I mean, it is. It was. But it was just that we just never came in here to win champs. We came here to be the best that we could be. And it resulted in a championship. So we're grateful.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit now. Go back a little bit and tell us about what it was like preparing the team for the champs this year.
We had to make a lot of adjustments because of my extra duties at Calabar. So we had to make a lot of adjustments to have that morning training group.
Oh.
So the girls train and sacrifice every morning. It was tough. But we had to make an adjustment just to facilitate me going to Calabar in the afternoons. But it was been tough. We started in September, and we just been working. We haven't had the chance to really sit down and assess what we've done, but we've been improving steadily. I mean, going into champs, we had a few injuries, some key injuries to some key persons, but we're still grateful that they're able to compete, even though not at their best. But the preparation, I thought, was solid enough to take us through the championship.
But I mean, I'm thinking about you and even your time to rest with Calabar and Hydel on your hands. I mean, that's a lot of work and a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah, I'm officially tired now. I don't want to see a track again for now.
Oh boy, maybe not until tomorrow.
Or later. I'm sitting beside a co-host who is actually a past student of KC, so you know that he's also, like yourself, on top of the world. Shelz is here. Shelz?
Yeah, big up Coach Bennett, you know. I don't know, you're a legend, you know, sir. You know, as a 40s man, you know, so we hear about you long time. So, yeah, man, enough respect.
Congratulations to you too and the KC family for once again doing a great job.
Respect, sir. Now, you mentioned going into the championships, you know, just going out there to do your best, you know, the athletes, just preparing them to just go out there and do their best. But as you guys realize that, hey, hold on, we can actually do this, especially coming down to the final races. What was that like preparing the athletes as they went out?
Well, I mean, I think after the third day when we were leading, there's some eyebrows started to be raised. And it was like, you know, but we still had to stay focused. We didn't have a very good Friday. We got some key disqualifications and some key persons should have made finals and even win finals, didn't even make the finals. So it was not such a good day. So, but we just still thought that whenever you go to the track, you're going to give the best. And we just asked them to just keep pushing on. Because, you know, if it's fell in our hands, we're willing to grab it.
That's right.
That they did.
I think we grabbed it with two hands.
Yes, that they did. There are a number of standouts within your team. Of course, right at the top for me is Alana Reed, who was the winner for both the 100 and 200 meters. Fantastic athlete. What can you tell us about some of those performances that really have stuck in your mind from your team?
I mean, you know, let's start with who you mentioned, Alana. I mean, Alana, who was runner-up last year in the 100 meters at Champs. If you think about what she has done this year, it is actually unbelievable. She's still a first-year Class 1 athlete, and she would have been somewhat overshadowed by her former teammates, Clarita Hill and Brenda Liston. But I heard she's now the 11th fastest Jamaican ever, not just a junior, Jamaican ever. Wow. And that's special, you know. I mean, we've had some great ones at junior level pass before her, and Veronica Campbell was a superstar. Yeah. So to break even Veronica's record, that's special. I thought that even Shamanique Hayes was 200 on Saturday when she was predicted to probably the medal. Was special that showed the heart. Or Captain Onika McConnell was special again. She just decided not to lose. And I think young Kaden Johnson in the steeplechase after falling over the last barrier and getting up and showing that spirit and that determination and that never say die attitude was probably the turning point for us. So I think everybody rallied in. We won by 2 points. Everybody's points would have counted. So I thought that there were some key turning points to our championship. Daniel King, for example, who got third in 1500, she wasn't even predicted to score. So, you know, we had some good persons dig deep and gave us some very valuable contributions.
Yeah. Do you suspect that a number of these star athletes that you have trained that were so successful at Boys and Girls Champs that they will continue in athletics? And are there like scholarships beckoning at this time?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, you know, the majority of our athletes have received scholarships. I'd say at least over 90% in the past. We've had a few persons who have transitioned into the professional ranks. I mean, names come to mind like Cheyenne Salmon, Ashanti Moore, Clarita Hill, Cherokee Young, and even Shadi Lawrence, who was a national record holder in the discus. These persons have all gone on professionally, but the majority of our girls go the college route. And we continue to emphasize and push the college route because I think that is a safer route to go.
Now, how strong will your team be going forward? We suspect that some of these students will actually be moving out of the high school realms. How bereft will you be of talent going forward?
Well, you know, when you lose your captain, Onika McConnell, because it's just time for her to graduate and she's signed with the University of Kentucky, so we wish her all the best. When I saw that 10-9-2, I knew that was over for Alana. So we wish her all the best as well. And we just try to transition them and just kind of make sure that they're going to good hands. But I think we have a good young group, and I think they'll be developed at the right time and the right way. Yeah. So I think that no matter what, we'll always have some persons that are raring to go.
Okay. That is it. Now, Coach Bennett, you know the thing, sir. You know, every time, you know, it was a beautiful championships, but you know, there has to be there's some points of, you know, concern. And yeah. I'd love a coach's perspective on this matter. We're seeing where GraceKennedy, you know, is threatening to pull sponsorship. You know, if students, you know, continue to display certain behavior at champs. We've seen how some of the athletes, the young athletes, decide to celebrate at the finish line, for example. You know, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think the athletes should find, you know, different ways to celebrate? And as a coach, if you witness an athlete going through, you know, displaying actions like that, what is your approach?
I mean, personally, and I say it to my caliber athletes and my Hydel athletes, that we don't mock. You know, we don't celebrate in a way that is not befitting of good sportsmanship. We've done it all season. We've told the boys, don't even look at the clock. Just go to the line, congratulate your opponents, and be very respectful. I know there's an incident with when the Class 2 4x1 team might have won, and in a very celebratory mode, he might have done what has happened in the past. That's not acceptable in now. And with such a violent nation that we are experiencing, we don't want to encourage that at all. And the incident in the 100-meter Class 2 boy was also very unfortunate from both our schools, by the way. And I think that those two boys probably should meet at some point in time, and I think the two schools should bring those two boys especially together and just kind of talk it through. I think it's not something that we want to see. This chance is being internationally all over the world. So we don't want that to be a talking point about such a great championship. I mean, we've had so much other good things to talk about, but we understand that we still have to address those issues. And I think that we have to have some ruling before that would govern how both our boys and our girls operate going through the line, and whether in good times or better.
That's right. Very important point you made, Coach. Trust me. And we thank you. We congratulate you, principal, teachers, students, coach, everybody at Hydel. Congratulations on laying your hands on this trophy for the first time. And we wish you continued success going forward. Blessings.
Big coach. Big up.
Thank you.
Take care, Corey. Corey Bennett there, Hydel High School track and field coach. And I got ahead of myself. Somebody said I actually mentioned that my alma mater won boys champs. I meant girls champs, actually. As you know how it is, we do get a little carried away sometimes. Right, yeah. But when you look at the list of schools that have won the girls title through the years, schools like St. Hilda's, Manchester High, St. Andrew High, Manning's High have won girls champs, Vere Technical, Excelsior High, St. Mary High, the Queen's School, even St. Jago, of course, has won it. Homewood Technical, Edwin Allen, and my alma mater, Titchfield High School. All right? There we go. DJ Roy is just about ready for us right now, and so we say good morning. Morning. DJ Roy. Morning. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well. You can tell he had a good weekend when he comes in sounding like that.
Oh, my goodness, man. I went to Jersey. I played in Jersey for the first time for the year. I have not been really taking dates outside of the boroughs.
Yes.
But I was called on by a friend of mine for his birthday party. And, you know, I'm trying to get back to New York because I had a date in New York, too. So I'm trying to get back to New York, and I'm trying to leave around 2:30. It took me 45 minutes to get out of the venue, just saying hello, stopping, taking pictures, and I'm humbled and surprised every time someone stops me and say, "You can't leave. Me need a picture. So Jersey massive. I love on the Jersey.
Yeah.
Let me say that.
This is now 2:30 a.m. You're leaving out to get to another event.
to another event. I was also at Lady Lana, who we call her the Queen of Queens. She had her birthday party in a new place called Pure. And I actually went there first at 11 o'clock. There was not even one person there, so I went to Jersey, did my thing, and got back at about 3:30. The place rammed to the rafters.
Wow.
Road International, Steely Bashment, and that was another off the hook party. So it's been a long weekend, and Sunday, we give thanks, Palm Sunday, and just glad to be back at work, man.
Yeah, for sure.
We give thanks,
well
man.
done, bro. Can you recall which song you used to really turn up the thing? Which one you thought you got the biggest forward for at either of these stops?
In Jersey, it would be the Family remix on the Your Love Got a Hold on Me rhythm. That's the popcorn. And in Queens, because the big people something, when we put on Let's Drink to the hard-working people.
What's that time?
Place turnover.
Place on fire.
Salt of the earth.
Salt of the earth.
Salt of the earth.
You play the original?
The original. I do have Richie Stevens on dub plate, but I play the original.
Yeah. On that occasion. Worked well.
Yeah.
All right, so big ups to all the peeps in the tri-state area, New Jersey, where DJ Roy was. Of course, also in New York, where he was and still is. And big ups to my peeps. Yeah, okay, is it?
Warm, 60 degrees we're going to be experiencing today, and I am not going to lose my mind. My coat will still be in my car.
I also want to say big ups to our friends in Connecticut. I understand my good friend, former schoolmate, Dr. Lloyd Weir, is actually listening to us right now. So big up yourself, Lloydie, and all the best over there in Connecticut. So nothing on Trump. We know that he's supposed to be flying in from Florida into New York, and we'll face some legal matters. Let's see how that pans out, Roy.
We'll see how it pans out. We still don't know what the actual charges are, so we'll see how that pans out. I think he's just going to come in, swear in.
Formalities. He won't be handcuffed or anything like that.
No, and he'll have Secret Service with him wherever he goes, even to the bathroom.
Oh, boy. I understand it could be a possibility of up to 30 charges. I mean, they're really trumping up some charges.
To say the least.
Yeah. But we're still basking. Of course, Shelz is even down to his watch. When he presses a little knob on his watch, it shows the color purple, man. He takes it seriously. We have to say congratulations to KC and to Hydel Boys and Girls Championships Champions 2023.
Yeah, man. I for trouble, Ryan. Like, I Ryan with
I really do this year.
Yeah, both schools.
We're in a building process, especially Calabar. But hats off to Casey, of course. They really, as always, dominate, track and field. So we gotta say big respect to them. But all the schools,
man.
Yeah, big up to and all the youth them. But something I want to ask. But I guess I'll do it in our next segment. I wanted to ask about a video I saw with Chronics. And how is that being taken in Jamaica?
It's not a new video, actually.
It's not a new video.
No, it's not. It's not like current, like a few days ago or anything like that. That incident happened when this young lady was cut. Her locks were cut some months ago, and a number of artists and others from the Rastafarian community were gathering at different points. And making their disgruntlement known. So that is when that happened. But because of what's going on, where one of the brothers who calls himself the Viral King, Futa, has been pushing this envelope as it relates to Chronics and Protege, Coffee, and all of these artists, and he feels that they're embracing certain aspects of lifestyle that he doesn't think they should, or maybe they should be talking out more about. So now that this video re-emerged, people are thinking that it was a sort of a backlash that Chronics was experiencing, but it's not related to these recent comments or anything. It was from back then. It's still not a good look though, because I think he was being chided by a Rastafarian brother who was not pleased with Chronics for some reason. But to link it with what these current comments would be a little off.
Clickbait.
All right. Well, thank you for clearing that up, because that's what we're we're getting here, especially stateside, because
Yeah.
I never saw the video when it came out the first time. So I figured it was a backlash from that.
What is good is that Chronix really held his composure.
Yes.
Held his composure.
Better man than I.
Trust me. I don't think I would be as composed under those same circumstances.
True.
No, I'm not going to say that I do like Super Cat did when himself and Ninja Man were clashing. Somebody threw a bottle on the stage, and he ran down that bottle and and removed it from the stage. But Chronix did very well under the circumstances. Big up Super Cat anyway there.
Yeah, man, definitely. He's probably listening to
I know.
here in Long Island. So big up the General Cat.